Sarah Kleiner is joining me. She's a federal politics reporter from Center for Public Integrity. Sarah, welcome to the program.
Hi, Cenk. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about John Hickensnoozer, or is it Frackenlooper? Okay, so you can already get a sense of what I think of Hickenlooper, and when I quote unquote beat up on guys like Hickenlooper, it's not really about them. It's about the mainstream media reaction to them. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. I can't wait to tell you what the Washington Post said about him. That's a little bit later. But Sarah, since no one in the country knows who Hickenlooper is, can you tell us who he is?
Sure. So John Hickenlooper was born outside Philadelphia. He was raised, his mother raised 4 children by herself when his father passed away when he was a young boy. He eventually got his degree in geology and moved out to Colorado, got in the oil and gas business in the early 1980s, and then was laid off in the mid 1980s. And at that point, he decided to start a brewery in a part of Denver that was run down, kind of dilapidated. And when brewery took off, he and his business partners ended up expanding, and they eventually had 15 breweries and restaurants around the Midwest. And then he got involved in politics, and he ran for mayor of Denver and won. When he ran for re-election, he got 87% of the vote. He was highly popular. When he was mayor, he brought in, he was kind of instrumental in bringing in the Democratic National Convention in 2008 with Barack Obama. I was actually there, and I was covering the convention, so I remember John Hickenlooper from back then, hosting various events around town that week. And eventually, people suggested that he run for governor. And he ran as a Democrat and got elected. And then he got reelected in 2015. So he ran out of time. He reached his term limit in 2019. So now he's decided that he's going to join the crowded field of Democrats running for the nomination.
I don't know if you're allowed to give opinions in your role, Sarah, but do you think his chances of winning are 1% or 0%?
He's definitely starting off. He definitely has a long way to go in terms of name recognition, raising money. He has an uphill battle to climb, and he acknowledges that. Some analysts have said, well, he's done this before and he's been successful. He started off with nothing, and he's been able to make a name for himself in part because of his quirky personality and his ads. He's had some viral ads. I think once he took a shower in a suit when he was trying to say that he was done with dirty politics. He wasn't going to play dirty politics, and so yeah, he's been able to make a name for himself in the past and stand apart. His politics are interesting, also really making him stand apart from the pack at this point, and so it kind of remains to be seen what's going to happen with the base. Or is the base going to be willing to support Hickenlooper as and he's a self-proclaimed moderate.
Yeah. Well, I have a definitive answer for that. No, the base is not going to support him. So, I want the audience to know this. This is interesting. So Hickenlooper, if he was like, a fairly progressive mayor of Denver, and he's in essence a self-made guy, and he had the breweries, that all sounds great. So what's wrong with Hickenlooper? When he was governor of Colorado, he was such a big proponent of fracking that he threatened to sue any local area in Colorado, city, municipality, or town that tried to ban fracking. He said, I will come after you guys with the full force of the law. You must have fracking. Now, Sarah, is that, one, I'm not interested in that policy. I think it's terrible. And I don't know any progressive who's like, oh, he's vigilantly pro-fracking. That's so great, right? Literally 0 people think that among real voters. But my question is, do you think that he did that policy because he worked in the oil and gas industry? He wanted to, in his mind, improve the economy? or get money from the fossil fuel industry? Or what's your sense?
Sure. I mean, I can't really get into his mind, but I think any of those is plausible. At the time when he was governor, he was dealing with a split government. So basically, the Republicans control the state house, and he was a Democrat. So he was trying to work with them and try to come up with policies that he could get passed. Now, a lot of environmentalists would say he was entirely too soft, especially when it came to fracking and that sort of thing. And that's something that's going to be a hurdle for him to overcome on the progressive side.
Yeah, and look, it's one thing to say, hey, this is the situation I find myself in, and look, it does create some jobs and I gotta work with Republicans. It's another thing to enthusiastically threaten to sue any city or town that would ban fracking. So it's gonna be hard to walk out of that one. The second problem is, they say like his main calling card is that, I don't know what it is. He stands up to bullies, and he says, quote, standing tall when it matters is one of the things that really drives me. Sarah, I don't know what that means. So what? Like, okay, I mean, what, the others can't stand up to bullies? Like, what? Yeah. It's not policy, it's not anything. It seems to be just fluff.
He is trying, I think, to set himself apart from everyone else, and I think he's trying to sort of play up this taking on Trump, and he's viewed as a bully. Hickenlooper was talking up his Coke bottle glasses when he was a young man, and his sort of nerdy demeanor. He talked about how he'd been picked on and he knows how to stand up to bullies. So he's trying his best to, I think, tap into some of the frustration that maybe people have over Trump and his aggression, and some of the things that he says that are seen as bullying.
Yeah, Hicken Snoozer 101. Listen, 200 million people are ready to stand up to Donald Trump, and probably more. It's not a policy position. It's not any position. It's nothing. It's absolute air. Nothing. Okay, I mean, he doesn't even have any evidence that he would stand up to Trump more than anyone else would. Like Bernie Sanders constantly saying that Trump is an idiot and a sociopath, etc. I mean, those are tough words against Donald Trump, and he's not worried about what Donald Trump's gonna call him. And Hicken Snoozer's answer to that is, oh yeah, I had Coke bottle glasses. Well, okay. Anyways, all right, let's move on to the last part. So he's so corny. He has a giddy up pack. Anyway, so the Washington establishment, of course, loves him. It's the only reason why anybody's having a conversation about him, because he polls at 0%, where he will remain the rest of the time. So Jennifer Rubin, who despises Bernie Sanders with a white-hot passion, wrote that she likes Hickenlooper's bridge-building tendencies and his aw-shucks demeanor, and that he has spent his entire public career trying to lead from the center. Okay, now Jennifer Rubin is a conservative, so building bridges to conservatives, of course she's in favor of that, right? Because it builds a bridge right into her trap. And they told us Obama led from behind was terrible, and now they're celebrating leading from the center. Like, I mean, this is an unanswerable question, but does Washington have any idea how clueless they are and how out of touch they are with the rest of the country?
I think they're going to soon find out as we get closer and as the field probably gets a little bit bigger, and then it'll get smaller again. I think that it's interesting that you point out that the only reason that this conversation is being had is because people in Washington are interested in Hickenlooper. And yeah, so the columnist for the Washington Post did say that she called Hickenlooper the anti-Trump.
Oh, only in that he's intensely uninteresting. And guys, I don't want you to get me wrong. I don't know John Hickenlooper from a hole in the ground that was created by fracking. So it's not like I got any personal beef with him. I'm sure I'd have a brewski with him and we'd have a great time personally. But well, I'm not positive we'd have a great time, but I'm sure he's a decent enough guy. But this is silly, and it's aided and abetted by the mainstream media that takes these guys seriously. Okay, last thing, Sarah, do you have any idea where the money for Giddy Up PAC came from? I can't imagine there was a lot of small donors, but maybe there was, so that's why I'm asking.
He's had a couple of major donors, some gay rights activists in Colorado, some foundation supporters in Colorado have supported him. He's saying that he's not accepting any corporate PAC money, which that's par for the course in this race on the Democratic side.
So that's good, and I don't want, I'm kind of kidding around, but I want everybody to have a full context here, guys. He's not all bad guy, and not taking corporate PAC money, he probably can't get too much, but still is a good thing. So bless his heart on that. And if, and I'm sure that he's been wonderful on gay rights. That's why I'm sure some of those donors are supporting him, and that's a good thing, and that's a progressive thing. So investigate all the candidates on your own. Read Sarah Kleiner's pieces on them. Go to Center for Public Integrity and find out what they're about, okay? But you can tell where I'm coming from. I'm not entirely enthralled yet, but it is what it is. And Sarah at least is here to give you information. So thank you, Sarah, we appreciate it.
Sure, thanks for having me on.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.